Bow. Ring. Ring. Hey, welcome to a Wednesday Bindi here on the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcas Grant. That is Greg Bergman. We were having a little bit of silver and black review before the show.
Man, that's what we got. Really, this is how I start my day today. Like, first, I was already annoyed yesterday when it all got backed out of. It's like, this doesn't seem right that they're backing out of this deal. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, this morning, oh yeah, we backed out because we wanted Trey Hendrickson. It has nothing to do with anything because everybody knew that he had a surgery in January, so he couldn't play at this moment right now in time. God, sorry.
Things aren't great in silver and black land, but that's a different show.
It wasn't even their fault. It wasn't even their fault.
Normally, when bad things happen to the Raiders, it is usually self-inflicted. This time, you're right. They were on the wrong end of this one for sure. First of all, let me tell you, the Blue Review is powered by LAX. We're taking off. Learn more about all the incredible changes happening now at LAX by going to lawa.org/ESPN. Feel like at least part of this show today should be the red, white, and blue review after
absolutely.
What happened in Houston last night. The U.S. comes up short against Italy, losing 8-6. That was the final score. It ends, as a lot of tournament type games or postseason type games do, with Aaron Judge striking out with a man on base.
This is real fast. This is one of my new favorite bits for you, just in general. You and Aaron Judge, what is your feelings on Aaron Judge? Because that's not the first time you've made that.
I'm generally indifferent to Aaron Judge. Like, I'm not a Aaron Judge fan per se. I don't dislike the guy, but he just has a penchant for not showing up in big moments. I mean, for a guy who has put up a ton of stats, right? And look, Aaron Judge is going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that, right? I mean, he's one of the greatest hitters we've seen in a long time. He's an incredible power hitter. But he just has a tendency to not show up in big moments. I mean, his whole postseason history is sort of littered with that. The World Series in 2024 was very much that. He had game 5, right? He hits the home run. And I think all Dodger fans were like, oh no, is he waking up? This is bad news. We didn't get to find out because there was no game 6, in part because Aaron Judge clanked an easy fly ball in center field. So, it's just, it has kind of become a running bit for me, but also it's sort of like all good bits, there's a kernel of truth in it. That's all there is. So.
No, it's true. Like I was just watching, it was yesterday, the day before's game, the game against Mexico. Mm-hmm. And I was watching, so whatever day that was, and I was watching Aaron Judge, and I'm just like, he's a massive human being.
Yes.
And he's the second best player in the world. But I just don't feel like he's like all that great. Like I should be looking like, oh my God, this guy is amazing. And he is. Everything he does is amazing. He hits a ton of home runs. He's what drives the Yankees on a massive team. Like all of it is. But I just don't feel the same way I feel when I watch Shohei Ohtani. And where you're just like, wow, this is incredible. Or even like Bobby Witt, when some of the things he does, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. I don't have that same feeling towards Aaron Judge, and I feel like I should. It's really just the fact that he's like 7'5" and 300 pounds that just hitting yanks out there. It's crazy.
There were probably 3 or 4 other guys. If I could have picked, there were probably 3 or 4 other guys I would have rather had at the plate in that situation last night. I mean, I said before the tournament started, I would take Will Smith in that very same situation.
He was great.
He was. He had a couple of hits last night. I would rather have him with the chance to tie the game or at least extend the game, right? Just give me Will Smith in at bat with a chance to either drive in a run, keep the game going, keep the line moving. Kyle Schwarber was on deck. I think I'd rather take my chances with Kyle Schwarber in that situation, if we're being honest.
I've seen Kyle Schwarber. It was even in the All-Star game last year. Remember when he went to that extra time and he just hit a bomb and hit it out of the park. Yes, I would totally go with Kyle Schwarber too. I don't know. There's just something about Aaron Judge that just doesn't doesn't do it for me, and I don't really have a great reason behind it. It just like maybe it is just the game 5 ball up and just Tommy Edman just hits off the front of his glove, and also that he struck out a lot
Struck out
in
a
that series.
lot. I mean, it just, again, the numbers are great, and there's no denying how good of a player and how talented of a player he is. But at times, it feels like empty calorie stats.
Oh,
it's just empty calories, kind of with him.
totally. Now, did you ever think that managing was going to come into such play in the WBC?
I did not.
Was that not on your bingo card?
It was
That
not on my
manager issue was.
It obviously wasn't on USA Baseball's bingo card either. They just, plucked Mark DeRosa out of the TV studio and just threw him in the dugout. And, he didn't bother to, I guess, look at the pool bracket,
Rules?
the pool standings and stuff. I mean, just declaring in the morning that, oh, well, we're already through to the quarterfinals. Not so fast, my friend. No, because now the USA has to sit and watch Italy versus Mexico and kind of keep its fingers crossed for a couple of different scenarios in order to make it into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, just to make it easy, it's basically if Italy beats Mexico, that's it. USA goes through. That's it. Bing, bang, boom, done. If Mexico beats Italy by 5 runs or more, then USA and Italy moved. No, USA and Mexico. Correct.
Through, yeah.
USA and Mexico go through. If Mexico beats Italy by 4 runs or less, or they score 4 runs or less, I don't know exactly which one it is, then Italy and Mexico through, and USA is out. The heavy favorite is out. Now, if you're Mexico, or you're like, okay, let's get a win, but maybe not go too hard, or they're just kind of, one way or the other.
Yeah, it's basically so now if Mexico wins and scores exactly 5 runs, then Mexico's in, and then that last spot comes down to a whole series of tiebreakers, which
that USA would win.
Is that for sure? Do we know?
I think for last I saw, if it was 5, it became so. Here, this is for USA Today.
The tiebreakers are not. It's not standard, right? It's like it's runs, or it's head to head first. First of all, head to head record. Then it's like runs per 9 innings. Then it's like runs
batting
per
average,
but it's like runs per at bat or something like that. It's really weird. There's like advanced level math that is involved in this if it comes down to that sort of thing.
So according to USA Today, it says if Mexico beats Italy and scores at least 5 runs, USA and Mexico are in, Italy is out. If Mexico beats Italy and scores 4 or fewer runs, Mexico and Italy are in, USA is out. And all because Mark DeRosa doesn't bother to think of, maybe he just forgot that Italy was also 2-0 at the time and was still right there. I have no idea, but he actually goes on high heat and says, "Hey, yeah, that's fine. Nah, we're through.
Yeah,
let's get all our other guys. Let's get Paul Goldschmidt in there. Hey, Kirk, warm up. You're gonna get some playing time."
Yeah, and it was almost like, did he find out midway through the game? I feel like he got word midway through the game that, hey man, like this is not a lock for you. Like, would he have stretched out Ryan Yarbrough as long as he did if he knew what the circumstance was?
You're not going to let him you're not going to give him 8 runs.
And I think that's the other part of this too, is that the offense took a while, but it finally came to life. What turns out to be the big inning was it the 5th, where they gave up 3 extra runs, in part just walks and bad defense. And they end up giving 3 more runs to make it 8-0, and that was the difference. They come back, they score 6. If they don't give up those 3 runs, they win this thing 6-5. It's sloppy. It's not satisfying, but it's a win. And you are at that point. You're 4-0, and you're guaranteed to get through. So, say what you want about having Paul Goldschmidt in the lineup, or, me making fun of Aaron Judge striking out. Play better defense, pitch better. Like, those are the things that get you through. And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the best of the best of this of the all of the United States. This was they are the heavy favorites for this because they're like, oh, we're bringing everybody in here.
Hmm.
We're gonna get Schoolball, we're gonna get Skeens, we're gonna get Webb, we're gonna get all these dudes. We're gonna bring everybody. Nolan McLean was terrible
Yeah.
to start off the game. So, but like, so you should be playing good defense. You should be all like understanding the rules. You should not be just playing anybody. It actually does mean something to people, unless you're Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper thinks it doesn't mean anything, and it would
Oh
be
no,
different.
I feel like he's into it now. I don't know if something
Now,
changed, but I think
he
he's gotten
hasn't
into
looked like he's into it. Flying out. Bryce Harper was terrible too. I'm down on Harper too. That's a whole other thing. But this is all these things are they're all easily avoidable by Mark DeRosa, and I just didn't think that I was going to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, managing was such an issue." But they haven't been great in any of the games.
no.
They were down, or their pitching wasn't all that great, or the hitting wasn't all, they're not hitting with runners in scoring position. There's a lot of things that have not been good for Team USA. And Benji Gill said it after the game. They're like, if we play him again, we're going to beat him. Like they just knew that they were a better team because USA hasn't been. They're inevitable in the fact that they're going to put up runs at some point.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah. I love Ron Mexico's RPO in the chat saying, I think we have our answers to who is the better team, Dodgers or Team USA. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a great point.
Yeah, that's pretty much a wrap at this point. Yeah, it's interesting too because and other people have pointed this out for pretty much all of the other countries. This is the biggest thing going on right now, right? That I think you look at every other country in this tournament, even the ones who are considered among the favorites, right? I think even for Japan, even for the Dominican Republic, like you see the energy and the passion that those guys are playing with, and the U.S. hasn't really shown that sort of energy. It hasn't shown that sort of want to, and look, I'm sure they want to win because they're professionals and they don't want to get embarrassed. But it's like, I don't know if you saw the video of the pitcher from Czechia who
the guy that was like a plumber and
he's like an electrician or something like that. Like he walks off the. I mean, that was absolute cinema. Watching him walk off the field, it kind of like it was like something out of a movie, right? Where he stops and he looks around at the crowd and he like takes one big deep breath and he's like, tips his cap and walks off the field. Like that was the sort of like
biggest moment of his life.
It is. I mean, for Bryce Harper, like, yeah, I'm sure he cares, but he's going back to Clearwater in a week or two to like work out with the Phillies. Just it doesn't quite ring the same, I think, for this Team USA right now.
And it shows on the field and it shows in Bryce Harper. I didn't like that. I didn't like the way that he phrased that. He's like, oh yeah, well the Olympics would mean more because when the baseball is back in the Olympics and that would mean more. Like I get it because it's an Olympic gold medal, but you can make this big. You can make the WBC big. It already was growing, and for him to say something that who's a voice of a lot of Americans and a lot of baseball fans in America who love Bryce Harper, who's typically outspoken in a good way.
Yeah.
This does the exact opposite of what he wanted it to do. You're lessening this tournament that is starting to really grow, and everybody is. I see a lot of people watching it. I don't know what the ratings look like, but I'm sure they're much, much higher than they have been in years past.
Oh yeah, no, I maybe I can try to find it while we're talking here, but I did see a graphic pop up yesterday that the ratings have been huge for Fox so far this tournament. So yeah, no, people are really into it. And look, honestly, the fact that here we are on the Blue Review and we've spent 15 minutes talking about this, I think sort of speaks to that because everybody has kind of gotten into it this year. Again, I said this with DeMarco and Travis on Monday. The best thing that ever happened to this tournament was Shohei Ohtani striking out Mike Trout.
Yeah. Oh, that was massive. Yeah.
That at bat, that one at bat is what really took this tournament to the next level because when it was over, everybody looked around and said, like, I got to see more of that. Like, I need more of that in my life. And so, like, you could just sense the buzz coming into this tournament. Everybody looked at the USA roster and said, hey, this is the time that we are the favorites. And then we looked at the Dominican roster And we're like, well, wait, hold on.
They're really good.
They're really good too. And we're like, well, Japan's won this thing 3 out of the 5 previous times we've played it, so you can't count out the Japanese. It has everything. It has the remember some guys aspect, right? Where you go through everybody's roster and you're like, hey, I remember that guy had a cup of coffee with the Dodgers or somebody.
Alexi Ramirez is playing and hasn't
44
played since like,
years old.
Right, hasn't played since like 2015. Right.
Yeah. So like, there's definite interest in this tournament. I would say this, look, I would like to see the USA get through and win this whole thing, but I guarantee you that if something weird happens and they don't make it through, you're going to see in 3 years everybody, all the top American players saying, all right, we got to fix this, right? You're going to see there's not going to be any Tarek Skubals being like, oh, I really want to be here.
I want to go back to pitch with my team. I'll just do it the one time. The one time.
I really want to be here, but there's not going to be any of that if this team doesn't make it out of the pool play.
No, and it really can be. It's never going to get to. I mean, not never, but it's not the level of the World Cup. It never will be, or probably won't be for years and years upon
generations.
Right? Yeah, it's going to take forever to get to that space, but it can be that type of event, like it is for soccer. It already kind of is, and because of it, and I think you made an excellent point. Mike Trout versus Shohei Ohtani to end the game. We talk about that every single time we talk about the tournament coming into this. So that was such a huge play. I just don't understand why guys like Bryce Harper would go out there and say, nah, like it'd be great to win, but I don't know. It's not an Olympic gold medal. I mean, I'm putting it a little bit out of context, but still the fact remains the same. He equated it to the Olympics and the Olympics being more important. And I think that is just nonsense and really takes away from the WBC.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's become this perception that the U.S. doesn't quite care about it as much. Again, I think they care. They're professionals. They want to win. They don't want to get embarrassed, especially on their own home soil. But there's so much more joy watching the Dominican play or Puerto Rico play or
Czechia play,
right?
Or Korea. You see what Korea did when they made it to the quarterfinals for the first time in like 13 years, whatever it was. They were sprinting on. It was so much joy and happiness. Like they're beyond excited because they haven't been out there since I think the first one. So it's a big deal for these teams.
Yeah. I do love the random home run celebrations that the teams have, right? Great Britain doing the changing of the guard where the guy wears the big furry hat and the coat. It's fun. The Italians with their little cup of espresso. Like that was awesome to me.
Francisco Cervelli just like,
yeah,
good.
That was awesome. That was great. So yeah, I hope that, well, first off, I hope that the USA can figure it out. I never imagined a situation where Team USA would have to sit and wait on 2 other teams to play to determine their own fate. Did not think that was going to have to be a thing, but here we are. But I would hope that, if they do survive and get through, and look, to use a Hunger Games phrase, the odds are in their favor. But
was that from Hunger Games? You know what? If you would have just said it, I would never know that.
Maybe odds be ever in your favor. Yeah, I mean, the chances are they're going to get through. But if they do, I don't know. Hopefully, it's like a near-death experience, and they make the most of the opportunity, because one bad inning in the knockout rounds and your tournament's over.
Yeah, I don't know who the Italian manager is.
Is it Francisco Cervelli?
Is it Cervelli? No, it's Carlo Ancelotti.
Okay.
So Carlo Ancelotti and Benji Gill may just give it a little handshake deal, like, hey, we're going to put up 4 runs, and we're going to pull back the brakes. You need to lose. This is good for you. Let's just work together here. You still go through. We won't put up a ton. We'll stop at 4. We'll let you get 3. We'll make it a 4-3 game. You can even go first. Let us get through it. Don't let the United States through. Like, this is our chance to not let. Now they're professionals, kind of, and they're gonna do they're gonna just play, and whatever happens happens. But I wouldn't see that being completely
Yeah, no, I mean,
that's Football Manager. What about baseball?
yeah,
Is
it
true?
is. It's Francisco Cervelli.
Oh, it is Cervelli.
For
Okay,
baseball. Yeah.
yeah.
Look, that has been suggested. I mean, I think for most people, it's a tongue-in-cheek suggestion that's what Mexico and Italy are going to do. But again, if you are Mark DeRosa, you could have taken care of this on your own. Like, you didn't have to leave it in everybody else's hands to get yourself through. I do wonder if next time around USA Baseball finds a different manager.
One that knows the rules and one that understands. I don't think that the managers are really out there to manage these games. Like it's Benji Gilds, Francisco Cervelli, it's Albert Pujols. Like it's guys that are not typically managers in baseball.
It's like the people who get tabbed to coach like the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game. It's we're one cycle away from like Kevin Hart managing Team USA or something like that. Like that's what's going to happen.
Right. They're there to just kind of like they give a lineup card, have fun with the guys, go on to TV and have a little soundbite or something. But it's not to actually sit there and like tell them where to go be placed on the field and really work out the lineup cards. You're saying, okay, do we want Kyle Schwarber to hit before or after Aaron Judge? Like it's not really that difficult to do, but knowing the rules might help.
Knowing the rules will for sure help. I mean, I will say this. I do think some of it, especially for the USA manager, is you do want to make sure guys are still getting work, right? Because they're taking time away from spring training. The season does start in a couple of weeks. I think that's part of the reason you saw Paul Goldschmidt, for instance, get a start last night. I think it's why you saw Ryan Yarbrough pitch. I don't think he would have pitched as long as he did again if they knew what the situation was. At one, how nervous were you when you saw Kershaw getting loose?
Well, I was nervous, but I was also like, okay, he's going to pitch, but like you can't do that.
You can't pitch him in that situation, right? Run differential matters, like which is it's not a thing you would have said about Clayton Kershaw for most of his career. But last night, you couldn't throw him out there because you were down 8-0, and you couldn't have that lead get any bigger, so you couldn't throw Kershaw.
So, at what point do you think Mark DeRosa found out, hey, we can't give up any more runs. We're down too big. We'll be out if we do it this way. And then told the guys like, oh, we have to actually bring people in.
We got to figure it out.
Someone had to call down or like running down there like, hey, we're not done yet. This isn't over. Italy and Mexico still play and can knock us out.
Do you think, well, one, it probably was like the 6th or 7th inning. Do you think it was somebody in like the dugout or within like the organization, or was it like a fan behind the dugout with like that was like scrolling Twitter, being like, "Hey man,
DeRosa,
figure it out.
You need to score runs."
like it feels like that's the thing where like a fan in the stands was kind of like, "Hey man, you gotta pick it up a little.
Learn the tiebreaker, bro."
Something. That's kind of what that felt like. It was one more wild thing in a wild evening of sports, man. Between the USA losing to Italy, the Raiders and Ravens deal falling apart, and Bam Adebayo of all people,
83 points,
scoring 83 points.
We didn't even get to Roki Sasaki throwing to minor leaguers.
No,
and he was great. 9 strikeouts, give him 1 hit, and that was it. But yeah, and there's also what we're going to talk about on Sedano and Cap coming up next. There's going to be Cappy is very, very heavy on LeBron and Morales too. The Lakers winning another game against a good team without LeBron. So I don't know. Sedano was throwing up a little bit earlier. I don't know if it's because he ate something bad or he was just thinking about what Cappy and Morales are going to say to him in one way or the other.
Both things can
We're
be
going to
true.
Find out. He ate something bad. He's like, oh, this is what Morales is going to say. Oh.
All right. So stick around for the Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza. Could be interesting. Could be a lot of intriguing sound effects in the background, depending on how things go. So stick around for that. As always, appreciate everybody in the chat for hanging out with us and participating. We always love that. Thanks Thanks to Tim for getting us up and on this morning. So, back with you tomorrow morning, 6:30, 6:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. In the meantime, for Greg, I am Marcus. We will see y'all tomorrow. See you, everybody.
See you.